You can go grab the link and throw it in West, and we can get started.
Oh, we're on the air right now. Music.
It just tweeted out.
Music. Oh, I don't think I have any music.
This is Wade Barrett reading Goodnight
Moon.
Moon.
Read Goodnight Moon.
In the great screen room, there was a telephone, and a red balloon, and a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs, and 2 little kittens, and a pair of mittens, and a little toy house, and a young mouse, and a comb and a brush, and a bowl full of mush, and a quiet old lady who was whispering hush. Good night room. Good night moon. Good night cow jumping over the moon. Good night light and the red balloon. Good night bears. Good night chairs. Good night kittens. Good night mittens. Good night clocks and good night socks. Good night little house and good night mouse. Good night nobody. Good night mush. And good night to the old lady whispering hush. Good night stars. Good night air. Good night noises everywhere.
Hey, Omega.
Hey, yes, Gunner.
Do you know what's worse than the introduction to this show?
Both of the show?
No. The Simpsons going live for 3 minutes. Did you see that?
I did, actually.
That was god-awful. But wait, did I just say 3 minutes? Let's start the show.
My dream job would be to be a casting because I like having everything done.
Speaking of dream jobs, there's a part-time position open as a media library services assistant for the WWE in their media library.
I'm sorry. Did you just say media library?
Library, yeah.
I'm watching you.
You can join us this week. You can call in. Unlike The Simpsons, our lines probably won't be busy. That's 812-408-9666. 812-408.
Whoa.
Hey, you're falling asleep on me, Jacob. Speaking of the guy, speaking of the guy who's supposed to not be falling asleep because he's not supposed to be having those weird noises come from his computer, Yankum, DDS. Please stop.
I gotta dumb myself down! Explosion.
You really gotta stop making those noises. I understand that, you gotta make them. Joining us this week, he's back. It's Vassar.
That is not fair!
What?
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 Oh, hell yeah. Sorry.
And the guy, and speaking of beating Deborah, it's the Croc.
Oh, God.
Hey, listen. We live in a fucking country where nothing is proven until the court of law has deemed it. So you can't say shit.
Big Show, please retire.
Speaking of the Big Show, it's Sava's dog.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, guys, let's get started here with the news. So this week we're going to start off with Adam Rose, who was arrested for battery, domestic violence, and tampering with a witness after grabbing his wife's face during an argument and preventing her from calling 911. Due to WWE's new policies regarding such matters, he was suspended indefinitely and will be terminated if he is convicted. He was released and ordered to continue counseling, suggesting this was not the first incident. His wife pled with the judge to allow him home to help take care of their special needs child. So, that ESPN piece on NXT, shining light, a whole lot of light on him. Man, Jesus. Oh man.
Why does this all seem so familiar? A wrestler, and he beats his wife, and they have a special needs kid.
No, please no. This guy has... Oh God.
I feel like I've heard this before.
You'd think.
Fuck.
Well, moral of the story is it's a pretty reprehensible act. And the fact that it's gotten so out of control that he's, gone to these particular extents for it. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that you have to do and a point where you have to get to where he was to find himself in that position, and it just seems to be all spiraling downhill for him. So, hopefully,
you think he's done?
Oh yeah. I think this is done and done.
I'm pretty sure he's done because
even if these charges disappear, he's done.
Yeah, because you don't hit a woman unless there's a safe word.
Pretty much.
Good Lord.
Can't be doing that stuff.
Go ahead, Omega.
No, I mean, I think getting released might be a good thing. I mean, if he has some issues, which it seems like he does, apparently the argument was over their marriage, but not necessarily the child or anything like that. So, I mean, if he's gonna take care of business, so to speak, and get his life straight, then, can't necessarily do it on the road. Opening match of a house show, jobbing to Apollo Crews.
Yeah, it's not like his career was going anywhere to begin with, so it
Which
may honestly be for the best, because then he can work indie dates and pick when he works and take some time off first and foremost.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame it didn't after that whole expose, but, what are you going to do?
Yep. Sad.
Speaking
My
of
safe word is giraffe.
Speaking of sad and battered women, Pop TV has dropped a Saturday.
And we're not talking about Yankum's love life.
Oh my God!
Ho!
Pop TV has dropped the Saturday Morning Impact replay entirely, and TNA was not mentioned on Pop's upfront media report penned in March. TNA is said to be behind on pay again, though it is not as badly as in the past. And apparently, on the fall TV schedule, Pop TV has conveniently left out TNA. So,
oh my God!
Rest in peace.
It's not even funny anymore. It's depressing.
It's not the whole upfront media thing. It's not a smoking gun, but it doesn't necessarily bode well. Particularly the fact that they dropped the replay, because now they're kind of like everything Pop's done with them so far has had a spin on it. This one being, well, we want the Tuesday airing to be your sole source for Impact Action or whatever. But really, that just means, well, we're only giving them the 2 hours, and they say they've been happy with the numbers, but apparently not. I mean, and this is Pop TV we're talking about, the channel that used to be, and still kind of is, the TV Guide channel.
Yeah, that's the weirdest part about it. It just seems it just wasn't a big fit, and TNA needs to find another home that they actually fit on, and I think they're going to fit pretty well in the video library of ROH.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to be on Sinclair's network so fast.
I think that's going to be the only people really that's going to, actually take them in seriously. Besides the after the Nazis take over the Harris brothers take over the company.
But what TNA needs is someone who is willing to invest in the entire thing, not pony up the dough, but actually invest in the concept of the wrestling company. Because, Destination America sounded like they wanted to, but then almost immediately, and now the same thing's happening with Pop, almost immediately they kind of changed the tune. They didn't really promote it, other than that first couple of weeks, and then, the honeymoon was over pretty quick. So, if that's indeed Sinclair, and they're going to invest and even join it with ROH in a way, then, maybe that's what they need. Of course, the only way that's going to happen is if Dixie doesn't have majority shares.
See, here's the thing. You want to invest in wrestling, and then you have to watch Impact for 4 straight weeks. And then you change your fucking mind real fast.
And it's like, okay, so I think that Impact might... I've watched a couple of episodes of Impact.
It's not like the wrestling is bad, but it's still the same Impact that it's been for 10 years, and they still have the same stupid mistakes, and the commentary is just awful all the time. It's worse than it was.
Oh, yeah. It's so bad now. I never thought I could see a worse fucking commentary team than Josh Matthews and Elijah fucking Burke. And I love the Pope. I love the Pope so much. But that team's not good. They're behind on paying people also. They're still behind. They're threatening to fire the people that they owe money to.
Oh, lawsuits abound on that one.
That one, yeah.
Pathetic.
Although that is somewhat an old story because they're just still behind. It's not like there's new people who are not... Well, I'm sure there's people every day who aren't getting paid there, but it's still the same amount that was owed in January or half a year ago.
And, the Rude and the EY are still owed 6 figures, so at one point or another, allegedly.
They will never see it. This is ECW 2.0. They'll never see that money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Emma will be having surgery on Wednesday, reported by the WWE.com or something like that. She hurt her back at a house show. No word on how long she'll be out. More injury bugs abroad. Apparently, the Kalisto is quote injured, according to WWE.com.
Well, that's one of their,
Yes.
It's
Kalisto's work, brother.
Kalisto's work to make him his victory over Rusev seem even stronger.
They always find some weird thing wrong with them when they do that, like a herniated abdominal meniscus.
Herniated abdominal meniscus. That makes perfect sense.
Like Dr. Ned.
That's when you take your knee and you stick it through your gut.
Phimosis.
Allegedly, by the way, Harper is supposed to be back in August.
God damn it, that's so long.
No, it's not.
I know, but he's been off TV for so long and he's so good. Like, I was hoping he would be back even sooner, but it's still amazing how quick he might be back.
It's long enough for the Wyatts to come back and go away 2 more times.
Exactly. They have him come back for one night and then have him disappear again. It's perfect. I'd much rather see this injury bug stop altogether, though. That sucks. I feel especially bad for Dana because
she just got started, and then her partner is gone. That's the worst part.
Back decided to go bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Ruptured disc or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. No. And she's out. What's that, Gunner? Like almost a year?
It's not short term, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna take her.
They're not really gonna know until they
long
do
time.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not until after the surgery is they're gonna know how bad it was or how long it's gonna take to recover.
By the way, wasn't that match on Raw with Dana kind of weird? Like the way it ended.
In a roll-up,
Mm-hmm.
like every other Divas match, it was very much the same.
It was like a sit-down Hiroshima roll-up.
I damn near punted my TV. That was a turning point for Raw for me, honest to God.
Honestly, when you finally have Eva Marie debut and be a regular woman on the roster, give her a roll-up as a finish. Like, push that as her finisher. Give her the roll-up.
That'd probably be it's a better finish than what she has right now. Wait, I'm sorry. The only thing she can do is the sliced bread.
The thing that is okay, I as long as it's not the Byron Saxton finisher from NXT. As long as it's not that. I mean, that literally is the worst finisher ever, other than the overdrive.
I would say
That'd be a great troll finisher.
Well, I would say this, except Eva's not talented enough to do it. I would say have them bust out some really just, 0-1 flippy moves, do some slice spreads, do like a corkscrew 450 and this and that. And then when they go for the pin, they just roll them up.
Yep.
Have her fucking hit the Shotenkai out of nowhere.
Or like, that's not their finisher, but then they get them back up and she runs the ropes and hits like a shoulder tackle or just a clothesline or,
No, they try to do the crossbody, but then they hit the stomach instead because they didn't jump high enough, and they just fall awkwardly on top of her. 1, 2, 3.
And that's her finish. And it's like the Red Flash or something like that. I'm putting ideas in their heads. We need to stop doing that. Moving right along.
I think that'd make a fair NXT gimmick, don't you think? Where they just bust out some ridiculous stuff and then to win, and then they get frustrated and then they do that, but then they go right back to holds and kicks and clotheslines and stuff.
Like somebody that just forgets the pin.
Or just somebody who wants to wrestle the classic style, but then it's not working, so they bust, they just pull something out of their hat, like a super overdrive off the middle rope or something, and then...
Jesus.
We need to stop. We're going to get Eva Marie fans at this point.
Cameron's support of Ryback was seen as a bad move internally, likely contributing to her release. Another of Ryback's demands was guaranteed money, even if his contract had been terminated, which was common for the big talents at WCW, but generally unheard of now. Both of them gone.
Did he think Eric Bischoff was in charge, or what?
He was just trying to get things to change. He thought he could get things to change. That's
credit where it's due. Credit where it's due. The guy tried. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he had nothing to lose apparently, since he's willing to leave. Yeah. So, I mean, now that's kind of a ridiculous demand considering who he's talking to. But he did get the conversation started.
He did try, but Cameron is just, and we all knew she was dumb as rocks. But seriously, to tweet out or to whatever she did in support of that, and she expected to keep her job. That was stupid.
But just remember that classic between Alicia Fox and Melina, guys.
Oof. That
5-star classic.
Reaction to it? Oh my god, it was beautiful.
I believe this is the appropriate point where somebody plays -5 stars. Because I don't have it on my board right now. But, people are missing their opportunities.
Right now.
And for our last bit, WWE has copyrighted blank, apparently, for future character use. Obviously, you guys could read what's on there. But we're going to go down the line here, and you're going to fill in the blank. Omega.
How about Hiroshima roll-up?
Save us, dog. WWE is copyrighted blank, apparently, for future character use.
And he's dead.
How about the Breakfast Club?
Jesus. Fuck.
I think that's a copyright already.
Not in sports entertainment.
But yeah,
Good point.
but
For a sports entertainment use.
Actually, you know what? There you go. Styles, Gallows, Anderson, the Breakfast Club.
the Breakfast Club.
Oh
You
my
don't.
fuck,
Yes.
Styles is totally Judd Hirsch. Styles
So-
is totally Judd Hirsch.
And then
So
you've got
basi-
Gallows, who's biscuits and gravy. It's
But
perfect.
That's awful.
Who's Carl then?
Briskets and gravy. Hold on.
Don't ask me this. I'm not giving them ideas. Fuck that.
Anderson is cinnamon bun Carl Anderson. Like machine gun.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Alright, it's running school.
Okay, so basically they copyrighted Lady
My turn?
Balls.
Wait, no,
Yes,
it's my turn.
It's your turn, yes.
Yeah, they've copyrighted Dirk Dick Butt.
Dick butt.
And they're
They
actually
wish.
going to give someone a Dick Butt gimmick.
Oh dear God. But no, it's
A little dick that's like a little dildo thing.
We understand what the
I mean-
gimmick is.
He just wears a unicorn
this is-
horn on his back. Lower
This
back.
is pretty. The thing they actually copyrighted is pretty close to that, though.
What is
Yeah,
it?
it is.
So,
Lady Balls.
Lady Balls.
Balls Mahoney is turning over in his grave for not having Lady Balls as his valet.
Is this?
Just saying.
Who is
Am I wrong here?
questions?
No.
Who plays Lady Balls? In ECW.
ODB.
Lady Balls.
My first thought was
Trinity.
Nia Jax
And all she comes out is with a
or
dress
Naya.
that looks. No, she comes out with a dress that looks like a scrotum. Hair's up coming off of it and everything.
Sounds exactly like something fucking Vince would come up with.
It's going to be the new Jillian Hall, where she comes out completely unassuming, but on the crotch of her outfit, there's these two big round protrusions, and nobody she's complete. Everybody noticed.
Wait a
it,
minute,
but
hold
she's
on.
Completely.
Hold on. So basically, what you're telling me is that the boogeyman is going to perform a sexual act to get rid of the killer bumps.
Live Glacier celebration on Monday Night Raw.
The worst part is that is definitely something that Vince would think was fucking hilarious and want to put on TV.
I think it's fucking hilarious and want to put it on TV.
It'll be the fucking highest rated segment in the past 3 years.
And Nia Jax goes, well, I'm in North Carolina and I have no idea what bathroom to go to.
Oh.
And we could, oh my
Would have been better if it was Charlotte, though.
Oh God.
Woo.
We love you, we love you,
I can't
Charlie.
with you guys. I can't. Like, I'm trying right
Okay,
now. And
so
you're
what-
killing me.
Here's the question, though. What the fuck is it for real? Like, what are they
That's
gonna...
what I want to know. Who is going
To
to get
me-
settled with this gimmick?
Is it... It sounds like something that they would bring in ODB.
I wouldn't be surprised that could be the case.
Why wouldn't they just call her ODB? Like,
Because
call her
you can't really do that because it's PG, you know.
Yeah, that won't fly.
ODB is...
okay, you can't say old dirty bitch, but you can say ODB, and the adults will get it, and the kids will be like, I have no idea.
What does ODB? What does ODB mean, Daddy?
Well, what
Yeah,
does
but no, I don't
CM
think they would
mean
use
in
that.
CM Punk?
Right.
Chick Magnet or Chicago Made or Cut Monster.
Well, you know, I'm just saying. What about? Didn't they just sign a new female who is like a mixed martial artist? Seems like they always do that, but I don't know.
Maybe
I mean,
it's maybe it's like some sort of like movement where it's like they're renaming the Divas Revolution, and it's like our women have lady balls, like they're courageous or something.
There's just no way.
Commercial. It's just featuring all the divas working out.
It's just
Have some
wrong.
lady balls.
It's just so wrong in every way.
Each of them say, "I have lady balls."
Let's move on. Let's move on. I think it's like the 15-minute time limit. All right, we're going to do some Extreme Rules predictions. Here we go. So let's see here. We got Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin in a no DQ match on the pre-show. Tell me if that one sounds familiar.
So what is no disqualification? You can't. You just there's no rope breaks. What's the difference between that and hardcore? Other than Falls Count Anywhere. And what's the difference between that and a Falls Count Anywhere match?
Falls Count. Okay, so a no disqualification match means that the falls have to count in the ring. A Falls Count Anywhere match means that you can go anywhere in the arena or anywhere on Earth and pin the guy. I mean, if it Falls Count anywhere. I mean, if you.
But can you get DQ'd in a Falls Count Anywhere match?
Technically,
no.
Technically speaking, no. Well, technically speaking, you could, but that's a straight up WCW TNA shit right there.
Because I'm trying to figure out the difference between a no DQ match and an Extreme Rules match, and I'm not seeing any difference.
It's just hardcore, no DQ, and whatchamacallit is all interchangeable. The problem is that the no DQ match means that it's pinfalls only in the ring, and whatchamacallit, countouts. You could still be counted out in a no DQ match.
I think that's the main thing, is that there are countouts in a no DQ match, technically, whereas Extreme Rules, I don't think there are.
Right. It's literally just...
Extreme Rules encourages the use of, foreign objects and such, whereas no DQ, technically you can use them, but
they're not the point of the match. It's not.
It originates in the idea that it's kind of like no holds barred. Well, that's not no holds barred means
we can just choke someone.
Yeah,
grab them by the throat.
But you can still be DQ'd if you use a weapon. Whereas no DQ means you can do whatever, but rules still apply. You still get counted out. And
I'm just trying to figure this shit out because, to me, these things have become so interchangeable, and they're all almost the same thing.
They really are. I mean, let's be honest. They really are. I mean,
they are.
In a chairs match, are you going to get disqualified for putting somebody through a table?
That'd be great.
Maybe, depending on how strict they want to be with it. I
want to see that happen just as a finish to make everyone mad.
Are you going to get disqualified for hitting them with a stool?
You know what I really wanted to see before they released them? Hornswoggle versus El Torito in a giant ladder versus a giant chair match.
How would they?
Where they bust out the huge fucking ladder, like the giant one that they had for that Money in the Bank 1 year, for Big Show, and then the giant chair that they had that 1 year as well.
So basically, just have the two smallest people on the roster look a bit smaller.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Boy, do I feel bad for Baron Corbin, guys.
I know.
Wins the Battle Royal is now only on the pre-show.
Man,
was anyone surprised by that?
He is lucky on the main roster. In this spot. I mean, yeah, he was NXT's perennial jobber until he came up, and like I said, he's lost to Ziggler, but he's also beaten Ziggler. I wouldn't be surprised if he beats Ziggler here. I mean, he's on the main roster. That's what you can say about him.
I feel worse for Apollo. When was the last time he was on Raw?
I have no idea.
He'll come back. He'll come back. He's honestly, Apollo's in a pretty good spot because they're giving him the slow burn one. Mm-hmm. And the slow burn means they have a plan for. I mean, you can basically get exposure for months. It's not like they're going to suddenly decide, Oh yeah,
he's going to be the fourth member of the New Day or something.
They
They might have also just decided with Apollo that, like, he's really good, but he just needs a little more time down in developmental. He just needs a little more work on some certain things, which is very possible.
Maybe.
Well, I think that's kind of why they promoted him, because then he can, like I said, he can have matches against the Social Outcast and whoever for a couple months and get that main event exposure main roster exposure. I mean, until they put him in a proper feud.
Speaking of people I feel bad for, how about the U.S. title, Kalisto versus Rusev? I feel awful for Kalisto, man. His reign has been just sad and boring, and he's so much more talented than what he's been given with this shit, and I really hope this is a good match.
No,
It'll be a good match. And then Rusev will break his fucking back and make him humble.
I feel worse for Rusev because here's what's going to happen. He's going to win it, and then in 2 weeks, on Memorial Day, John Cena's going to come back. He's going to challenge Rusev for that title, and then he's going to win back America's title on America's Day, because America.
Basically.
Fuck yeah.
And then you're going to get... Okay, so ready for this one? Kalisto versus Rusev versus Cena at Money in the Bank.
Oh, Jesus.
That would actually be really fucking fun.
That would be an entertaining match.
Yeah,
I would see that. I would like to see that, to be honest.
Also, what world are we living in that we're excited for John Cena to come back?
We're going to talk about that here because I got a little bit of overtime here that I wanted to get into after that point. Because I just wanted to point out a few things about the people that are coming back. But moving on, the New Day versus the Vaudevillains for the tag titles. New Day is approaching Paul London and Brian Kendrick's record for the longest WWE Tag Team Champions at 330 days, I believe, was Lundrick. And the New Day, as of today, is like 315. So basically, if they retain at the pay-per-view and then, last another week, they'll beat the record.
I think they're losing it.
yeah.
I get the strange feeling too, yeah.
They've had it for a while. There's no real tag teams to challenge them, except for maybe the Shining Stars.
Oh, good God. That is not fucking happening, dude.
The Shining Stars with the Shining Star finisher.
And their hit entrance theme, Shining Star.
From the Shining Star
of the Caribbean. I get this weird feeling that the Vaudevillains, they looked so fucking strong on Raw with that, Beer Money's finish, basically. And how they just kicked the shit out of the New Day. And it might just be the classic, booking like it usually is, but I don't know, something about the Vaudevillains, they're getting good reactions too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an act, I mean, it's not like, again, it's not like the Shining Stars where that's the only thing about them is that.
Yeah, okay. The Shining Stars.
I mean, they're characters.
The Shining Stars came out and got no reaction. The Vaudevillains get a decent amount of boos. That's much, much better.
Yeah, he's right. Not only that, we got to remember the guys that were supposed to be in this position were the Vaudevillains, even though they lost one of their biggest tag teams. I can see the feud going forward being Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass for the tag titles.
Yeah, see, that's the
New Day gets their rematch, of course.
That's the other thing. You can't have an act like Enzo and Cass or whoever other tag team that's face anyway go up against the New Day anymore because the New Day is the premier tag act. I mean, it's kind of the Usos, but not really.
They really are the top baby faces, pretty much in the entire division for sure, but maybe in pretty much the whole company.
AJ.
There's a few exceptions, but in general, the reactions that the New Day gets week in and week out is pretty phenomenal.
It's nearing whatchamacallit levels, New Age Outlaw levels.
And by the way, Kofi Kingston A+ on that promo on Monday night. I thought about it today at work and just died with laughter. It's still funny.
I give it an A. It would have been an A+ if he had, under his tracksuit, if he had actually had the Kingston gear on.
Well, I mean, he would have been hard pressed to change fast.
Well, he's wearing a tracksuit. Just have it zipped up full.
Oh yeah, underneath.
Take it off and then put it back on when.
All right, well, let's move on to Charlotte and Natalya in a submissions match for the women's title. I don't know about this one.
I hope you.
Do you not know or not care?
I hope you care because it's going to be going on for the next 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, here's the thing. I love Natty, but it seems like she's kind of, I don't know if she's lost a step or she doesn't care as much anymore or she feels just like comfortable in her position. And it just, like, it doesn't seem like she's trying as hard lately, which I don't blame her.
She's being handed such a shitty storyline and pretty awful promos, and all the Flair stuff is really just starting to get old at this point, and roll-ups, and it's the same Divas bullshit that we've watched for years and years. They just put like a new stamp on it and some new faces.
I tell you what it is. This is even a submissions match, and a lot of their interactions between her and Charlotte, match-wise, have been just a lot of chain wrestling, a lot of mat wrestling, and I don't want to insult them and say, they can't do it, but when you go back and look at what they've done, it's not picture perfect. The sequence, going from thing to thing.
The problem with Charlotte, and I think that what we are experiencing here is why the Divas Revolution in the beginning was so terrible. You have girls who can't work, as well as or with the new girls that are working right now, right? So what happens is that you get a styles clash. You work with a girl for a couple years, and then all of a sudden, you can start gelling and having matches, which is why PCB matches or with those three work. But that's why it's also why, beyond the fact that the Bellas are trash, that putting a Bella against one of those PCB members would not be, or Four Horsewomen, whatever, wouldn't work either.
Well, like I said, I think they can work with each other and put on even a good match. But like I said, I think it's just been a lot of combinations, chain wrestling, and it doesn't look. I don't know if it's just a stamina issue, if it's the fact that they can't keep it up.
It's
maybe
the fact that they haven't been doing it for 10 years. It's the fact that Natty's been doing it for. It's the fact that Natty's been doing it for 10 years, and Charlotte's been doing it for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Natty doesn't give a shit, and Natty's probably bored as fuck.
I think she does.
Right. Well, have you even seen the way that she runs ropes lately? Like, she's running ropes like Divas run the ropes. Like, she's not hitting the ropes hard at all.
Like, to me, I don't think it's Natty having lost a step. I think it's her mind is elsewhere with her husband at home and, like, hurt and probably never able to wrestle again. And then also just the shit that she's handed.
Natty has no charisma.
Well, she's a heart, so...
We're not supposed to address elephants in the room.
Because that's not true. Owen had tons of charisma.
Good point.
Exception to prove the rule.
Mm.
Well, if Natty doesn't have any, Charlotte has
a lot less too.
Yeah. I mean,
the opposite of charisma, which I still don't know what it is.
They need to quit.
Okay, so no, honestly though, the funniest thing in the whole world is her yelling "Dad" at Ric Flair while Ric Flair's Ric Flairing out.
That actually sounded natural. I mean, other than that kind of the way she talks, I'm gonna talk to you
Her
like
Jericho.
this, you know.
Really
Jericho
got to
does it on
pronounce
purpose, though.
those syllables.
Not comfortable out
Get some
there at all.
spaces between them. You
Jericho
know?
does it on purpose, though.
Yeah, she's not comfortable. You can see it with her body. The night after WrestleMania, it was really prevalent when she was in front of that post WrestleMania crowd. She wasn't comfortable at all.
It's just
comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of they need to, in promo class, I think they need to, like, she's trying to, it's kind of like when Trevor Noah tries to do Jon Stewart trying to impersonate somebody else, you know, where they're not really, they're just saying the line and they're kind of doing it with a different inflection, so it kind of sounds like I'm doing an impression, but I'm not really, you know. Instead of actually, you know, just being the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get it. Let's.
So, how does Flair get involved so that they can continue this for another 2 months?
He gets someone else to do it. He gets someone
Little
else.
Nate. Little
He gets Little Nate to
It'll
go
be Lil
down
Nate.
and
In the robe.
There's gonna be a ref.
Yes.
Little Nate in the robe. Or there's a ref bump and Little Nate has to run out.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's
Nothing's
a ref
better.
bump.
Okay, nothing's
Look,
better.
Here it is. It's a ref bump. Charlotte accidentally knocks the ref out, and then Lil Nate runs down with Ric Flair's music playing and wearing the robe, and he jumps in the ring and rings the bell when Charlotte puts Natalya in the figure eight, even though Natty didn't tap again.
Whatchamacallit? All right, let's move on. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in an Asylum match. Well, since TNA stopped calling it the Asylum, I guess they could use it now.
It reminded me of the what was it? Clockwork Orange House of Fun match. The second I saw it, I said, "This is some fucking Raven shit."
It reminded me of Lethal Lockdown instantly. The weapons on top of the cage. I thought for a second it was going to be the cage that lowered down. I'm like, they literally just brought fucking Lethal Lockdown.
I'm actually kind of surprised they went this goofy. I mean, you know, say what you will about WWE, but they typically don't go TNA level.
And the only reason they're going TNA levels of goofy is because of the word, literally lunatic. So they think of the craziest and wildest things that they could think of. Oh man!
I will say, I thought it was incredibly stupid until I saw the potted plant hanging from it, and I loved everything about it. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I marked the fuck out for Mitch. Son of Mitch? How can you not love that? I laughed my ass off for that.
Son of Mitch is going to get pro Ralph Jericho's head.
Ralph, son of Mitch. But no, for real though, I actually enjoyed the segment. I thought it was interesting. I thought that I thought that it was funny that Brian Pillman's music was being used over it. Yeah. Did anybody else catch that?
The music was just...
It was a variation of that kind of... It wasn't completely his music, you know, that kind of... what do you call it? That horror noise?
Remix.
Yep.
That psycho noise, you know?
Yep. I just thought it was funny. It's going to be a good cage match. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to lie, but Dean's going to go over.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
God, I hope.
Is this the last time we see Jericho?
No.
No.
6 months.
Look up Fozzy dates. Tell me if there's any Fozzy dates.
He'll swing around for another Mania paycheck.
Miz versus Cesaro versus Owens versus Zayn for the IC title. In the feud of I don't want the Miz in it, who's going to win?
I don't know.
It should be Cesaro, but it's probably going to be the Miz.
I'm going to disagree. Cesaro.
Cesaro.
It's not time for Zayn yet.
it wouldn't be the first time where anybody but the champion should win, so the champion wins.
That's really what this feels like to me too. But I don't know. It's tough to tell because I don't know where they're going with any of it, basically, except for Owens and Zayn continuing their feud forever, for all eternity.
I'd just like to quickly note that there are no Fozzy tour dates up yet, and everyone is probably happy about that, because that means Fozzy is not coming to their city to play shitty music.
I'd rather Fozzy be in my city than have to watch Jericho on TV, walking around in a stupid fucking vest and that scarf. Seriously, put on a shirt, dude.
That is
I hate that so much.
Exactly. It's exactly why he's doing it, too.
I know. I'm very aware of why he's that, but
I think that
I went to a house show on Saturday, and I guess I could talk about that in a while. But to that point, Jericho kept the scarf on while he was in the ring.
Nice.
It was a tag match. He was on the apron. He kept it on. Then he tagged himself in, and then he kept it on for the first, 2 minutes he was in the ring.
I think that Cesaro is going to go over in this particular match. Even though the Miz should win, so that the belt doesn't hot potato that much. But Cesaro with that belt would be a better fit than anything else, and then having Owens and Zayn split off so that they can do their own thing and fight forever, basically. I think would be the best. But yeah, it's definitely 60-40 Miz Cesaro. I think it's odds on that one. But
only spot I want to see is when Zayn and Maurice screaming at each other in French.
Please don't.
Yes.
Just yelling at each other.
Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles in an Extreme Rules match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Can we basically just call this? It's like a new type of match where there are going to be 6 people involved, but only 2 people can be pinned. This is some TNA level shit here.
And there's going to be a dozen phenomenal forearms and 2 Superman punches.
Because it's 100% guaranteed that both the Usos and the club are going to get involved. Like, it's been built for 3 weeks.
I've hated the build for this ever since they debuted. I don't like it.
Let me tell you something. The club right now are 3-4. 3-4. 3-5 if you count last night. Mm-hmm. So why aren't they being protected? Why are they being put in against the Usos, who before this were your babyface Samoan meat champions? I won't say white because they ain't white. And now they're looking like, fucking superstars because their friends, their cousins who they used to roll with, their friends are in the WWE, and it just doesn't make sense. You'd think that the whole Samoan side of things was happy with them, considering.
Either turn Reigns heel, which probably isn't going to happen, or put the belt on AJ and make the club, not the Bullet Club, but, the actual club. Make it the club we all know it. You know what I mean?
This just feels like a build for Balor. I feel like Balor's coming at this pay-per-view.
I know this is not going to happen, but I want to see Tonga come out and just kill Reigns.
No.
Not this one. This one.
Not until that cage match happens.
They've done this before where they've called up people and because he's in that cage match, no one's expecting him to show up. I just have this weird feeling because...
Oh, freaking Ambrose coming out?
Okay, so June 8th is TakeOver. Alright? Mm-hmm. May 22nd is the, whatchamacallit?
Money in the Bank?
Is the next pay-per-view. And then Money in the Bank is, I'm not sure when, hold on.
Oh, I think the next pay-per-view would be Elimination Chamber then.
What? Money in the Bank 2016 is June 19th, so that's the next one.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's in Vegas, by the way.
Yeah, it's at the new T-Mobile Center.
But let's put it this way: this is going to be some bull, and and we're done with it. We're done with our predictions for this, and I really wanted to actually get into a little bit of overtime here and bring up a point. So you have John Cena, Seth Rollins, Luke Harper, and who else is Neville, and one other injury that's coming back very shortly.
Randy Orton.
All guys that are traditionally on the top of the card, mixing in with, quote-unquote, the new revolution of people. Tell me something. How much time is John Cena and Roman Reigns going to get on the screen together for the WWE Championship?
3 fucking hours, baby. Wall-to-wall coverage. You thought it was bad now, baby? Nah. We're going John Cena, Roman Reigns all the way, 24/7.
Jarrett, don't feel terrible about Harper being hurt. He's coming back in August. Just so you know. But for real, though. So, do you guys foresee, like, for example, the Miz, Cesaro, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn match? Are they immediately brought down lower on the card because John Cena, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins are going to come back?
No, not necessarily. Because take a shot every time you hear it, boys. Because we're in the quote-unquote new era, they're going to go ahead and push the younger stars more. That way they can go ahead and get them established. I think you may see Randy Orton devalued on the card. I think you see the older guys go lower.
I would actually like to see, like, since they're coming back, have it kind of give us some more variation in matches. Instead of seeing the same 5 to 6 matches week after week. But that would never happen.
Or you do a brand extension. That's the only thing.
No, they dumped too many people in this most recent.
No.
I don't see that happening ever again.
Oh, and apparently there's going to be more. If you guys hadn't heard, there's going to be more after this pay-per-view.
13 new superstars.
Because one of the names floating on that list is a name that you said, Gunner. So if this turns out to be true, we may not have to worry about that spot.
I don't know, but we'll see. My point is that do you guys think that other than Croc here, do you guys think that that my concern is valid, or do you think that this new revolution thing they're actually serious about?
I think they're serious about it, but there's going to be a lot of intermingling. I mean, you can have AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins, for example. You can have John Cena versus, assuming he gets the U.S. title back, a new crop of, he gets a U.S. title challenge against Big Cass and against Apollo Crews, like he did with Zayn and Owens before.
Alright, fair enough. Alright, let's move on.
I'm
hungry. Let's get some ice cream.
Dairy Queen, drive-through, Dairy Queen, drive-through, Dairy Queen, Dairy Queen, drive-through.
Dairy Queen drive-through. With the ratings, it's Vassar.
I could just about eat an entire coffee cake right now. Anyways, and now for the ratings. Starting off as everlasting downward spiral is TNA Impact. 280,000 viewers, down 8% from the 303,000 the week previous. Going on to SmackDown, 2.262 million, down from the 2.346 million the week previous. And finally Raw, 3.19 million, down from 3.238 million. The final hour dropped 10%. Ouch.
Basically, what I had been alluding to earlier in the show as to why things are going the way they are with the third hour, beyond the fact that WWE acknowledging that the third hour is death. Whatchamacallit, you guys have to realize that the demographic is changing. Last week, Meltzer made a note of this in The Observer, that more women are actually watching wrestling nowadays than men. Than men used to, but that men demo, that 18 to 49, is just slowly sleeping out, and we're not noticing it, which is a big problem. So basically, guys our age and guys in our demographic aren't paying attention to wrestling as much as they used to. That's a big problem.
WWE is going to become the next Supernatural.
Kinda, sorta. But you got to realize that basically 3.3 million viewers watched the first 2 hours of Raw last night, and then a net of 400,000 tuned out for that last third hour. And the reason why they put Charlotte and Natalya at the end of their fucking gimmick, beyond the fact that they're trying to promote that belt as equal to the men, is the fact that they're trying to get more women to watch the third hour. And they just don't. So there you go.
Because who the fuck would want to watch 3 hours?
Oh, fuck.
It's so long every week, and it's the booking's all fucked up, and it doesn't build. It doesn't build to the end, which is what a good show should do.
I was going to pose the question. I was going to say, the question that needs to be asked is, hey, guys, why do you think you guys are losing your male demographic so hard? Why? Nobody's asked.
They're watching UFC.
Exactly. Why? Because UFC's more entertaining.
No, it's because they're doing a better job at appealing to men right now. I mean, that's really it. And appealing to the children. While I understand you could be PG and not appeal to children. I mean, that's my personal opinion. You leave out the swearing, you leave out the sex, you leave out the blood, and if you throw that on the TV and actually throw adults having adults conversations, doing adult things, then you might be able to promote a product that would actually bring in the guys. But I'm not Vince McMahon. By the way, I'll get into this in the Happy Trails. Actually, never mind. Birthdays. Save us, dog.
Well, it doesn't help that you promote something like Cass versus Jericho, and then when it happens, it's really just a swerve to promote Ambrose.
That's classic wrestling, though. That happens all the time.
Yeah, but the last segment, main event, whatever, it's almost always a segment, and it's always something that could have been done at the start of the show or in the middle of the show, rather than something culminating.
Okay.
Anyway, I digress.
Happy birthday on the 18th of May to the one and only Blue Meanie, to Kaz Hayashi, to Moondog King, and to Jimmy the Fugitive Snuka. Happy 19th.
Who, by the way, was ruled not fit to stand trial due to the fact that he is so fucked up from his wrestling days.
That sounds about right, honestly.
Well, that's what they're claiming, but they're not. They haven't decided on that yet.
No, they did. I thought I saw. I thought that's
no. It was a competency hearing, but they haven't had the ruling yet.
Okay.
Basically, they argued that Snuka, they actually played the Piper's Pit segment, and they claimed that half of the coconut was shaved down, so it was supposed to break like an egg, but Piper used the wrong side, and it fucked him the hard way, and, he can't read or write and this and that, but then the defense argues, well, when we've asked him questions, he's been confident enough to answer them, and, he's remembered things about his wrestling career, and he hasn't been, and, he never complained about this until he found out that we were reopening this, so. But anyway.
And on the 19th, we've got Andre the Giant and Dirty Dick Slater, the Giant Dicks. Happy birthday on the 20th to the road DOGG. A lot of dogs in these birthdays. I love it. Jesse James, and also to another very famous James, KC James. Happy birthday to both of them on the 20th. Happy birthday on the 21st to Chris Benoit, to Mr. T, to The Sheik, and to Mike Taylor. Happy birthday on the 22nd to Tracy Brooks, Daniel Bryan, Cyclope, and Brian Pillman on the 22nd of May. Cyclope?
Yeah, something like that.
It's a lucha name that I'm not familiar with at all. And happy birthday on the 23rd to the legendary WWE Hall of Famer, Drew Carey, and also to JT Flash.
And now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with Mega BR.
Yes, this week in wrestling history, it's like 1964, where WWF television in Baltimore, Maryland, featuring the Scufflin' Hillbillies, defeating Jerry and Luke Graham, Don McCarty, defeating Killer Kowalski, and Gorilla Monsoon, defeating Jerry Miller.
Will you stop?
Jump to 1967, where Togo Shikuma and Shotzi Yokouchi defeat Jack Briscoe and Gorgeous George Jr. to win the Tri-State NWA United States Tag Team title in Little Rock, Arkansas. And in 1969, Archie Goldie defeats Angelo Mosca for the Stampede North American Heavyweight title in Calgary, Alberta to begin his fourth reign, a rematch from May the 2nd, also in Calgary. And that was This Weekend Wrestling.
Happy trails. Happy trails this week to CM Punk, who has been working hard but reportedly not progressed very well as a fighter. If a fight isn't announced in the coming months, they may be telling of for his future. And happy trails to the new couple, as photos of a pair at Disney suggest that Alberto Del Rio and Paige are in a relationship.
What the fuck? That is the least possible. Like, that makes no sense.
It makes perfect sense. What's wrong with it?
How does that make sense?
It's really just a thing for them to both get back on TV.
Basically.
But I never even thought of it like that.
Happy trails to Vince McMahon's WWE stock. He sold, get this, 2.8% of the company yesterday.
Oh shit.
Totaling $36 million.
Rolling in that money.
Mm-hmm. So now he owns about 48% of the company. He shares 2% with Linda, and then Linda owns like 10% of the company, maybe. And Kevin Dunn owns 0.12% of WWE.
Which is a lot for a corporation.
Excuse me, 0.18, 0.18%. George Barrios owns 0.24. Triple H owns 0.07. And Michelle Wilson owns 0.04. To give you other people that own stuff in it. Linzell Train Limited, the Vanguard Group, Eminence Capital, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock Inc., Talpa Bay here, and Stephanie's percentage is 2.47%, and Shane's percentage is a flat 2.
All of those sound made up.
Nope. It's ownership as of this month.
But I mean the company, don't they? The company name BlackRock Inc.
Well, it's an investment firm basically.
Morgan Stanley is a huge investment.
All right,
firm.
not that one, but you know what I mean. Like if you
so is BlackRock.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Talpa and Talpa Bay here is a guy from India, basically.
If I knew how to do finances, do you think I'd be on this show?
No, but there is that opportunity for a part-time. What was it?
You'd be a librarian for the job.
Librarian system.
Yeah, I could do that. I have a VHS.
You have some BS, all right. What should we watch this week in wrestling? We'll start with Vassar. If he's here.
Nope, he's gone.
Cue that Jeopardy music.
I don't have that. Nobody has that, do they?
Croc, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
Shit, there wasn't anything good on Raw. If you can find a ticket to the NXT tapings, if you're in Florida, go. Because I think something big is going to happen at these tapings this coming Thursday. And watch NXT this coming Wednesday, because they got a tag match that should be interesting.
Are you suggesting that Mr. Spectacular is going to enter the NXT zone?
I'm not saying anything. Yeah, riddle me this, riddle me that, buddy. Look into it yourselves.
I think he actually re-signed with TNA.
Oh, Mega BR, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
I'm gonna say rewatch the. I might have even suggested this before, but that Asylum match, really what it reminds me of is the second cage on the triple cage that was filled with, or was it the third cage?
It was both.
It was the second. It was both.
It was the second, and then the third cage had guitars because Jarrett was in the match, right?
Yes.
That's right. The triple cage match featuring, why not, the David Arquette one, because that's the one I remember.
Okay. Dog, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
3 fucking words. Graver Consequences 2. That match rocked. That match was so fucking good. Mil Muertes versus the Monster Matanza. Mucha Underground this past week. It was great.
Vassar, are you back with us?
Nope, still dead.
Rip. I'm going to tell you guys to go watch. The Kevin Owens debut against John Cena. That match was fantastic, and his repeat match at Money in the Bank last year, which the Money in the Bank conversation that we had earlier brought that up for me. So I would totally watch that again, because both of those matches are amazing, and we got that to look forward to in 2 weeks, because there's a man, and he is returning, and
his name is John Cena!
I gotta say something. When they did last night on Raw, when they did the little return thing for John, I could have swore I heard the Charlotte crowd singing "John Cena sucks" to it.
Maybe, I don't know. But
I need to say something. It wasn't Charlotte. It was Greensboro.
I am sorry. I just pulled an R-Truth, ladies and gentlemen.
All night long, everybody in the tube and chat and everybody was saying it was Charlotte. It was Greensboro.
Greensboro.
The Greensboro Coliseum, where Flair had many a match.
This is correct.
And by the way, that house show I went to, pretty good time. The main event was actually Jericho team, because Styles was out for the injury and everything. Jericho teaming with Anderson and Gallows versus the Usos and Roman Reigns. So that was fun.
That sounds like a ton of fun. I haven't been to a wrestling match in a while. Since October, actually, when I saw NXT in Louisville. But yeah, guys, go check out those matches. But that's it for the week. Thank you very much for listening. You can check us out online at SmarkSnark.com. I mean, really, that's the center of all of this. Go subscribe on iTunes, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/SmarkSnark, Twitter.com/SmarkSnark to tweet at us. You can talk to Yankum and myself and all of that. And you can come find us, #SmarkSnark. We're going to have a whole bunch of other stuff. You can always call in to the show, and or you could leave a message on our Skype, 812-408-9666, or 812-408... Woo! There you go. And one last thing I'm going to plug one more time from last week, the GoFundMe from Tyler Breeze and Kevin Owens to help the people of Fort McMurray with that giant fire, basically. They're up to $58,675 of the $100,000 goal that they're having for the Alberta fires. You could check that out online, GoFundMe.com/22VQM7W. Or we'll tweet it out later on, and you can check that out. Thank you very much for listening. And remember, we wish you well in your past, present, and future endeavors. Get in your shit, boys.
Follow me on Twitter, @TheCroc. Have the
At Donkey Lips.
Fucking Donkey Lips.
No.
At Donkey Lips.
I'm trying to get fucking followers, goddammit. Let me show.
Show these nuts in your mouth.
No one has a right to, of course.
Good night, Greenville.